My name is Dan Bellamy, and I'm the Associate Athletic Director for Sports Medicine at NC State. So the athletic training room has always been a really multi-specialty clinic for student athletes to receive all the medical care they might need. What I think has changed is that the student athlete demand and the student athlete, really the expectation and the standard of care has increased over the years, and there's a level of concierge service that I think student athletes come to expect, and we sort of hold ourselves to a certain standard. And so that limits the time that we have to do all the things that we need to do to provide care to student athletes. Our student athletes have a ton of opportunities and responsibilities, a lot of buckets that they need to pour into. And so the athletic trainer has to be very economical, and they have to be considerate of the student athlete's time. And so there can be less time to use sort of traditional modalities that necessitate 10 minutes, 20 minutes of time on a table or sitting down. And there's also student athletes that just don't have an appetite for that. Firefly is a technology that I was introduced to several years ago. And when we were exploring things we could add to our program, I was fascinated by how simple it was and how adaptable it was, and the multiple applications of that. And so it's a technology that can meet the student athlete where they are and not really limit them to a training room, a training table, or a training space. They can travel with it. They can go where they need to go. They can go to class. They can go to study hall. They can go to meetings. They can go wherever the demands are and still get quality recovery. If you have stress accumulation over time, you really set up the system for injury. You set your student athletes up for injury, and for every injury that occurs, especially a significant time loss injury, there are other individuals on that roster that have to take on that additional workload, which only compounds the stress. So introducing technologies and interventions and strategies that help you reduce the accumulation or slow down the accumulation of stress are really a great support or a great strategy for injury prevention and reducing your injury burden. We would traditionally do a physical and do a medical examination that would show a snapshot of that student athlete when they came to campus. What we've done is we've expanded that to include performance measures like functional movement, eccentric hamstring strength, isometric strength, data from force plates, even in our training, measuring velocity as we do our training. We have a comprehensive athlete monitoring system in SmarterBase or TeamWorks AMS that collects all those data points and allows us to really consolidate all of our data into a single hub. And so we can take the data, the healthcare data, and overlay that on top of our GPS data, our performance data, and really get a sense of what strategies we need to employ in order to improve recovery and reduce the risk of injury. Because again, it's all about managing and monitoring and mitigating the negative impacts of stress, right? And so if we can monitor stress, then we can get some insight into whether we need to intervene to reduce the risk of injury or address any issues that might be leading to an increase in injuries and injury burden for the athletic trainer. I think the basics of health and injury prevention are sleep, nutrition, and hydration. And what really impacts that and reinforces that is how you introduce technologies that enhance circulation. The circulatory system is what helps you transport nutrients and maintain hydration status and adapt to stress, including sleep deprivation. If you can introduce something that helps to improve circulation, you can improve all of those areas all at once.